I've read Chinese on the Beach recently and I found that the setting of the story indeed helps convey the message of the story. So in this presentation, I would like to describe the setting of Chinese on the Beach, explain how it helps convey this message, and also discuss how the story would be changed if the setting was changed. So first of all, let me illustrate the setting of this story. I would like to talk about three things of the setting. One is the time, two is the place, three is the atmosphere. So let me talk about the time of this story first. This story is set in New Year. New Year, as we know, is the start of a year. So it symbolizes the start of the relationship between the male characters and the female characters in the story, and it brings out the message that starting a new relationship is like turning a new leaf in our life. Second, the place that this story set is in Beijing. However, the two main characters are foreigners. They are not adaptable in this environment because of the cultural difference. So it highlights the cultural difference between Chinese and foreign countries, such as when a female character go to a Chinese restaurant, tasty sea paradise of Minglao, she is so shocked and surprised that there is seafood swimming in the tank in the entrance. However, it doesn't supposed to have such kind of living things in the entrance in the Western restaurant. Perhaps the Chinese restaurants want to show their seafoods are fresh and still alive to their customer, but it does scare the foreign ladies. It conveys the message that the Chinese culture is so different from the foreign culture. Thirdly, the atmosphere of the story is from an unclear sky that you will feel confused to a clear sky that you will feel confident to your future. In this story, it has repeated a similar sentence that describes the atmosphere of the story. In line 1, it says that the next morning the sky was clear. In line 271, it repeats that the next day the sky was clear. And in line 306, it goes further that the sunlight stunned my face, or perhaps it was glare of sun staining my skin after long presence of light. From these few lines, we can know that the relationship between the two main characters become better and better, closer and closer, so that they can see the sunlight, and it conveys the message of sinking and a stable and sunlight relationship. So how if the setting is changed? If the story is not set in China, it's set in their living place, then there is no cultural difference between two countries, and we cannot see how surprised the characters in the story is, and it may not help the plot development, and the relationship of those two characters may not be closer and closer. If the story is not set in Beijing, then it cannot show the atmosphere in the opening of the story. As we know, Beijing is a city which always covered by hazard, that the visibility there is really low. Then if the story is not set in there, it cannot highlight the mental difference before and after the trip of the two characters in the story, because if the sky in the beginning is gray and cannot see beyond clearly, it shows that the female character is confused about her relationship with the male. But at the end of the story, the sunlight comes out, the atmosphere turns from dim to light, and symbolizes she starts a new relationship. Otherwise, we cannot see the big difference before and after the trip, and the story will become boring. So that's why it's important to set it in Beijing, to set in a place which has no blue sky, in order to bring out the message behind the story. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you.